Hi everyone, welcome to Tony Fox Tarot. Thanks for joining me today. Great to have you with me. Today's pick a card reading question is whatever you'd like to ask. And this is a yes/no answer that I'll be giving you. Once you've chosen your card, I'll give you the short answer, yes or no. That'll be followed through by a reading which will give you context as to why I've actually made that particular conclusion. So before we get started, if you'd like to go down below and hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon, that'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. Please like and share this video where you can. It'd be great to get me out there far and wide. If you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. Just remember, today's a general reading, so take away what resonates and leave behind anything that doesn't. Now, there's 5 different cards before you on the screen, and the idea is to choose a card that resonates with you most clearly. That'll be your reading. It's okay to choose more than one card if it feels right. So we've got card number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I like to do a quick guided meditation with one simple deep breath, so feet firmly on the ground, taking in a nice deep breath. And as you release the breath, just letting go of any tension that you might be holding from within. Focusing back on the screen before you with the 5 different cards, which of these cards has the strongest resonance? Is it card 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? Down below, there's 5 different timestamps representing each of the cards. If you'd like to go to the card that you chose, I'll see you in a moment. Hi everyone, welcome to card 1. This is your reading. So today is a yes/no answer to your question, and I have a no on this. I'm drawn over here to the Hangman and Change. I think up until fairly recently, everything's just been kind of on hold. It's as though you've had this potential to really exploit a situation. I say exploit, I mean that in the best possible way. I don't mean in a bad way. I mean, it's like you've got something there that you could really make something out of. It feels very creative. There's just enormous potential in this. Two of discs is about opportunity that has an infinite return. You know, like it can mean collaborative efforts as well. Perhaps you've been collaborating with somebody on something that has enormous potential. But I don't feel that it has been realized in any way. It's just been going around in circles. Things haven't been moving forward, and it's like it's stuck on loop to me. The Hangman is a stop card. You know, like things don't move forward with the Hangman. It's very much about perspective. This could be a creative project, you know, some sort of creative idea. The Hangman is very much a card of perspective. Obviously, he's hanging upside down, so the core of the card is about looking at things from a different angle. But it's also a card of artists and creators. So there is a lot of creative energy here in both of these cards. I mean, the Two of Discs is a card of high creative resonance in that it's the infinity symbol. So things are born out of that particular symbol in a way where it births, you know, great potential. But my sense is that perhaps you've been caught up in this in a way where you've lost sight of how to get it started or where it is that it could really go. And for me, it's a potential that's just not being realized. It could involve somebody else as well, or it could involve a situation that just, you know, isn't giving rise for things to sort of move forward in a straight line as opposed to going around and around and around. Over here to the Chariot and the Ace of Swords, I think this is a really difficult situation for you because you're not like that as a person. I think you're quite clear cut. You like things to be black and white, and you're definitely somebody who likes to win. You know, like I think for you to, you're not somebody who wants to indulge anybody or anything in a way that slows you down. I think you like to take ownership. There's no doubt about that. The Chariot is a card of pure will, you know, it really sets its sights on what it wants to achieve, and it just drives towards that finish line in a way that is is very powerful because it gathers a lot of momentum, and there's just nothing that will stop it because it's made its mind up. And the Ace of Swords is a card of new beginnings, which is concise. You know, once again, it's this black and white scenario of sort of taking a view that is simplistic and saying, look, you know what? It's a new beginning for me. I'm going to sort of move forward. I'm going to cut away from what it is that I've been doing in a way that's just very clinical. I don't want to indulge this anymore. Moving on, and I know where I want to go, and it's out of here. And so for me, it really is about taking control. So I feel that you're focusing to cut away from this very dynamic opportunity that you know has potential, but which just doesn't seem to be getting any measure or any length. You know, there's just no run on it to actually give it a sense that, you know, like it's really being realized in any way. So therefore, moving on, I'm out of here. I will say what I feel about the Chariot and the Ace of Swords is that these two cards can be a bit too simplistic. The Chariot is just, it's pure focus. It's like, yep, that's what I'm doing. I'm out of here. I'm moving forwards. I want to win. And it's very rigid. It doesn't have any flexibility because it's made its mind up already. And the same with the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is a black and white card. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Ace of Swords is, it's a beautiful card in that it really is concise. It knows in the moment its truth. Like, it's made its mind up. So, you know, you don't have to whitewash it in any way with the Ace of Swords. But once again, you know, like once it's made its mind up, it's no turning back. So this is really interesting because for me, if you come down here to the Queen of Wands and the Star, I mean, the Star is about hopes and dreams. It's about taking your focus, pinning it on a star, and working towards it in a way where you fulfill a goal. You know, like it really is a card of projection, of trying to put things out into the universe in a way where you say, hey, listen, this is where I really want to be. This is what I really want to do. And, you know, once we do that, once we project that out into the world, you know, out into the universe, it starts to become partially manifest because we've actually taken it from what is really just a creative digestion, you know, in terms of our inner process, to saying, I know what it is that I want and I'm going to put it out into the world. And therefore you start to work towards it in a way that, once again, begins to give it measure. Measure for me keeps on coming up a lot here because I feel that you're not getting any measure of success. And you are a person who's really driven towards that in a way where you want to be owning it. You know, you don't want to be indulging in the small stuff. You don't want to get caught up in red tape. You don't want people to get in your way. You want things to be simplistic, I think, not that it's simplistic in terms of an idea, it's just simplistic in terms of its process. I think you're a big picture person, if anything else. I think you know what you want very broadly speaking. Perhaps you're one of these people that needs to have some minions to actually work underneath you in a way that helps you to do all of the tiresome stuff that really just for you takes you away from the point of it. But the Star, it's coupled with the Queen of Wands. And my sense is that if you cut away from this particular opportunity, you'll definitely find a different way of working, a different avenue or a different pathway to get what it is that you want, okay? But the Queen of Wands, it's a card that falls short of its greatest potential because the Wands are all about energetic and creative output. The Queen of Wands is definitely very noble and sustainable in terms of being able to measure its output. So there's definitely a sense of progress by doing something else that's in line with your focus, okay? I really do feel that. But for me, it just doesn't have the same creative potential that of what it is that you're actually walking away from, okay? So I think that if you do cut away from this particular opportunity, you will get yourself back on track and begin to work towards a goal. So this could be a job, you know, this could be, for me, I mean, the Queen of Wands, you know, the Wands are very much about working energy, especially in the professional pursuit of a career. But they're also creative energy, so it could be a creative opportunity. Maybe you're looking to walk away from something that's creative and which you can own independently, and you're looking to go into a job. I don't know. I'll keep this really broad because I think really what's important is that the essence really resonates with you here. But I feel that this is not where the money is, and I don't feel don't feel it's where the creative potential is. I think to walk away from this potential opportunity that you have not been able to unravel and get some distance will leave you in a deficit, in a way where you're just not going to find something that actually matches the same potential. And I think you need to go back. In a way, you'd also be taking a step backwards. I think in some ways you'd also be going back to square one, because you'd be starting off in a different way that kind of puts you in, it takes you back a few steps. I think also there would be different challenges. But, coming back here to the Hangman and change, for me, this is where the meat of it is, okay? Why is it that this is not unlocking? I think things have become overly complicated. I think you've been looking at it too much. I think you need to get back to basics. And I think if you are working with somebody else, I think perhaps a part of what you need to do is just take a lead on this in a way where it's really about working towards what is filled with light. And when I say that, it's like, what's clear to you here? Work with what's clear. Don't work with what is not clear. Concentrate on what you can manifest as opposed to what you can't. The trick of this is that it kind of feels very creative and very, very spiritual. It feels very dynamic. It can be a little bit slippery. And I think it's important to keep it simplistic in a way where you know what works and you know what you don't know what works, if that makes sense. So for me also, you need to make some sacrifices. The Hangman is a card of making sacrifices. Sometimes you need to throw some ballast, out in order to get some lift. Sometimes you can't have everything your own way because it'll just pull it down in a way that gives it too much, just too much baggage, to be honest with you. So throw some of that baggage off, throw some of the ballast off, keep it simple, focus on what does work. If you're working with somebody else on this, take the lead. You're the one that actually knows what it is that you want to do here. Step into your natural role. You're a born leader. It'll work out. But most importantly, make your mind up that this is going to work. You have the power to manifest this, okay? So you just need to flip it, okay? Hope this makes some sense to you, and if it does, please feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. If you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. And finally, I release videos each and every week to YouTube, so feel free to browse the ones that are already posted and keep an eye out for those on the horizon. Take care. Thank you. Hey everyone, thank you for joining me here. This is card number 2. Welcome to your reading, and today's question is basically a yes or no answer to whatever question you have to throw at me and the tarot cards today. I am going to give you the short answer, and then I'm going to go through the reading to give you context as to why I've come to that particular answer. And today is an overwhelming yes for me. I think this is a really this is an opportunity. I feel that this is an opportunity for you. I'm over here at the Emperor and the Ace of Dis. Ace of Dis is a card of new beginnings. It's about opportunities that lay in the balance. It's a very auspicious card in my experience of the tarot deck. It's a gateway into a future that really has a long-lasting impact of very positive, very rewarding growth, both at a personal level, but also at a material level. There's a financial impact here that really kind of gathers momentum and rolls over a long period of time. And it's coupled with the Emperor. And the Emperor is a card of structure, and it's very much a father figure, really, a very dominant character. It's a very, very, very charged energy, can be quite aggressive at times. And really, in combination with the Ace of Dis, I feel that this is an opportunity that is very much about following rules and regulations, perhaps a very structured opportunity that will really have a lot of benefits over a period of time, because it will actually bolster you in a way that will give you a certain discipline that really builds and builds and builds over a long period of time. And I think that that will actually institutionalize, a different way of being, a different way of working. The Emperor is a very fathering energy. It's the father of tarot, and so there is also I think what's really important to remember here is that there's a lot of love in this card. There's a lot of care. Sometimes it can be tough love, but then tough love is needed, and there's a really good reason for that. And if I come over here to the Moon and the Queen of Cups, I feel these two cards are more reflective of who you are as a person. I think you're a highly intuitive individual. I would have said psychic, definitely. There's definitely tapped into sensitivity at a level that really reads things without having to think about them. So if you're not aware of being psychic, then we all have the makings to be psychic. We are all psychic. It's just whether you actually choose to build on that or validate that. I think you do validate it, and I think you have built onto it. I think you're incredibly loving, very nurturing person. You have a lot to give. I think you're at a point in your life where you're looking for something that has meaning, in a way where you can impart something of yourself. That Queen of Cups energy really does give lots of love. So whether it's, tending a little garden, or a goldfish or a dog or a cat or a baby or a family, it's like there is something there that needs to infuse from you into whatever it is that your focus is. And that could be anything. So this could be a job. It could be a financial opportunity. This could be a relationship even. It's whatever resonates for you. But I think that you are definitely at a time in your life where you're ready to focus in on something. I think you're very uneasy about this opportunity that I've just described with the Emperor and the Ace of Discs. I think there's something about it that kind of causes you to worry. It spikes your instincts in a way that makes you feel a bit uneasy, and you're very uncertain as to where that may go. I think it's in line with what you want, but there are some boundary issues for you. I think because you are incredibly sensitive, it's very difficult to push back in a way that really asserts, a line, between you and whatever it is that you're trying to keep out. I think you can be a bit of an open book at times. And I think also it's not just about that being a conscious experience. It's also very unconscious. I think when you're walking around and you're just doing day-to-day things, you are taking in energy from different types of situations that are going on around you in a way that you're not even aware of. So it's very important to keep yourself bolstered with lots of meditation, and also to try and keep things structured as much as possible. You don't want to get too absorbed by feeling and sensitivity. There really does need to be some balance, and perhaps even some guidance there, and that could also be about looking to somebody who can mentor you in a way which is funny, because if we come back over here to the Emperor and the Ace of Discs, I feel that there's something about this opportunity or this engagement, this pathway, this doorway opening up, that really does have a beautiful fathering energy, a very positive, reinforcing energy that can be a little bit stern at times, maybe even interpreted as being a little bit aggressive, which it can be, but it means well. And I think what I feel is, if you come down here to adjustment and completion, I think what you need to understand is that in order to take full advantage of this opportunity, you need to be realistic about it, which is about giving and taking. It can't all be one-sided one way or the other. I think this is an opportunity that will help you to work really, really hard to achieve a very solid result. I think you'll get a lot of reward out of this. But your efforts need to be collaborative, in as much as you need to work with the opportunity and what it has to teach you. I mean, the Emperor is a teaching energy. It's an overriding, ruling energy that, wants to instill structure rules, regulation, a discipline, a self-discipline. It's teaching you a new way of working, a new way of looking at things, and in a lot of ways, it's really giving you a solid backbone. Something that will give you skills and experiences that will really enable you to hit the ground running and to take full advantage moving forwards. I feel that this opportunity will really enhance you, but also enhance your capacity, as I've just described, in order to sort of really bolster yourself in a way that you're not doing at the moment. The big thing for me is that, so adjustment is a card of really looking back at the past. It's about a fair and just position that really estimates where it is that you've been by looking at the evidence that has brought you to this particular point. I think you need to be realistic with yourself. I think you need to be fair on yourself. And I think you need to look at both sides of the coin in a way that gives this balanced perspective. It can't all be about love, care, and nurturing in a way that sort of is sort of coming from a much more creative, inspirational and emotional level. Okay, I feel that this opportunity is a gateway to show you a different side of how things can be done, and I think but there is also something very collaborative about this opportunity. I feel that there is a number of influences that really come into play that really give you unique perspectives of how to put something together very creatively, but also very solidly in terms of what it will provide you as an outcome with regards to a financial reward that will change your life, for the better over a very long period of time. So it's yes, yes, yes for me. Hope this reading has made some sense to you guys. And if it has, please feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Hit like and share. Please subscribe. Tap on the bell icon while you're there. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. And just a quick note that I release videos each and every week to YouTube. So feel free to browse the ones that are already posted and keep an eye out for those on the horizon. They come up each and every week. Thanks very much. Take care. Hi everyone, welcome to your reading. This is card number 3, and today is a yes/no answer to whatever question you have to ask. I will give you the short answer first, and then that will be followed by the reading to give you some context as to why I've come to that particular conclusion or answer. For me, this is definitely a no. Now, I feel that you have been really working quite tirelessly to get things into order, to create some stability. Single-handedly, you've really been trying to salvage a situation or piece things together in a way that really serves to kind of give a solid foundation to a situation. But you've really been up against it. I feel that everything that comes your way is just pointed in such a fashion where it's almost like it's trying to undermine you. Now, whether that means, circumstantially things just unfold in a really negative way, but it could be to do with people as well. I feel that there have been a number of pointed attempts or pointed, scenarios that really are about undermining you or discrediting you or really trying to bring you down in some way. I don't know whether that means that, it's a conspiracy. Could be that, there is a flavor of that. But, a lot of what you're standing for is about truth and trying to bring a wider understanding as to what's really going on and why it is that things aren't working so well, so sustainably, unsustainably. But people so people, if there's people involved here, they're certainly not listening. There's a real small-mindedness going on here. A resistance to want to look at what's going on, to hear the truth, to see your point of view. And this is a collective.
a collective energy that seems to be kind of going against you. And in many ways, it's almost like you're going against the grain, going against opposition. And now this has become untenable. It's like, you're just kind of in the face of futility, which is what this is, futility. And the tower is, an unsustainable situation that has no solid ground, no foundation. But you're persistent. That's the biggest thing here. I think you're striving for something bigger and better. You're working harder than everybody else. Even though things are unsustainable, and unsupportive is this is really strong. You continue on. But why? I think because you do want to. I think you really do. Well, I think you really are striving for something bigger and better, but I think you really want to bring truth to the situation. I think you want people to see what's going on, even though they're not listening. I think also part of what you're wanting to do here is resist, a wider change that's beyond this situation, beyond what's going on in front of you. Perhaps if this doesn't work out, there is an anxiety that there's going to be a greater impact in terms of an ending linked to a new beginning, which is where we are here with death. Death is about transformation. It's sort of a process that really unfolds by bringing everything to the ground. And, it can be uncomfortable. I think people see death as being a card that, if it's not about something very final, such as death or the death of a situation, then it's certainly a card that will be very cold and prickly and uncomfortable for a long time to come. That's not always the case. Death is more about the fact that, there are times in our lives where we have to accept that change is inevitable. And no matter how hard we push against it, it's going to happen whether we like it or not. What is really beautiful about death is that it's a card that brings in new growth. Yes, it might bring things down to the ground. Yes, that might even be a bit uncomfortable. But what comes up from that is very, very beautiful because we have new life. I think for you, you're resisting change on many different levels. I think you're caught up in the small stuff at the moment. That could be about people or the specifics of your situation. You're really pushing ahead. You've gathered a lot of momentum to try and, to try and get through this in a way where you succeed. And I think that one of your greatest qualities is that you are somebody who will never give up. Yeah. If you believe in something, you stand for it right to the core. You're unfailing in that regard. No matter what anybody says, you will push to get this out there in a way where everybody can see what it is that you have to say from your perspective. And that is what it is. It is a perspective. And yes, you may be standing from the truth, but it doesn't mean that the situation is right for you, okay? Tower, it's a card where divinity steps in, And when I say that, sometimes the universe strikes at a situation in a way where it sheds so much light and truth into what's going on that it is unsustainable. It brings it to the ground. It shows it for what it really is. I think you know that, but also you're also caught up in fighting your fight and perhaps resisting with inevitable change because you don't want to be in a situation that takes you outside of your comfort zone much more than you already are. Through death, it will lead to a new opportunity where there's very creative energy coming up. Now, this could be about a new job opportunity, a new creative opportunity. But what it really symbolizes is your energy rising up after so much oppression in the set of circumstances that you have been in for some time now. Death is culling the situation. It's cutting back all of the stuff that is just really peripheral and which does not matter anymore, okay? Don't sweat the small stuff. Stop fighting the fight. Go with the flow. Okay, this is taking you to new opportunities that are much bigger, much better, much more rewarding for you in a way that will allow your energy to rise up and refocus into something that will give you a refreshing and very new situation to work with. This for me feels like the phoenix rising up from the ashes. You know, things are taken down to the core, and up rises this beautiful, flaming energy that is full of life, full of creative potential, that can do anything that it wants. And I think the thing is that not much more really needs to be pared down. I think you've really brought, you know, I think circumstantially things are really at a base level. It really is just about moving through this by giving yourself permission to really say, you know what, I don't need to keep on holding this fight. I can give up. It's okay. It's okay to let this go. Perhaps this is about a new job opportunity, maybe a new creative opportunity, as I was saying before. But in any case, where that leaves you is really in a place where you're able to spread yourself across more than one particular focus in a sustainable fashion. This is about finding new ways of working. Down here to the Queen of Wands and art. I feel that it gives you an opportunity to also recalibrate in a way where you validate yourself, to demand more respect and honor from other people, okay? To demand a fairer and more equal contribution in terms of anything that you take part with from this point forward. It's about not giving yourself entirely to one thing at your own expense and exhausting yourself to a point where you have nothing left to give to anything else. It's about bending to other people's needs, but not to a breaking point. Art's about finding a balance. It's about going with the flow, which you've been resisting up until this particular point. Queen of Wands is certainly a card of work. It's about energy output. It's certainly a card of professional focus. But also it's just a card of creative, very simple creative energy that can apply to any particular focus, whether it's a relationship, a job, a project of some sort, some sort of study. What it really says in essence here is that you need to find sustainable ways of working with any particular focus so that you're not losing yourself to a situation and exhausting yourself. It's not always about being right, okay? It's not always about showing everybody else what is true. Sometimes it's actually about doing what is right for you so that it's sustainable and where you're able to give yourself what you need in a way where not only you can survive, but also where you can flourish. For me, I really feel that you need to be spreading yourself amongst more than one particular focus at this time. And you need to have balance in what you're doing so that you're not becoming completely exhausted with any one particular focus. Guys, I hope this reading has made some sense to you. And if it has, feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Now, hit like and share. Please subscribe. Tap on the bell icon. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. I release videos each and every week, so feel free to browse the ones that are already posted on my YouTube page and keep an eye on those that are coming up in the coming months. Take care. Thanks very much. Hi everyone, this is card number 4. Welcome to your reading. So this is a yes/no question answer. And essentially, you know, it's a question that you can throw at me and the tarot cards today that I will give you a short answer on, followed by the reading to give you some context as to why I've actually said yes or no. And in this particular situation, I'm saying yes and I'm saying no. And the reason why I'm saying yes and no is because it's a slightly complex question in that if I give you a yes or a no, it may not make sense or you might get the wrong end of the stick. So stick with me here. Now, I feel you are in a position at the moment where you're questioning as to whether you should end something, okay? And to that, I am going to say no. I think you feel maybe that things have become a little bit predictable. The rewards or the energy of the situation have really begun to slow down in a way where it's sort of like at a trickle. You know, I think, you know, everything's pleasant enough. You know, there's no real reason to kind of shake things up in a way where you kind of take yourself outside of your comfort zone, other than for the fact that you might be becoming a bit bored with what's going on. there's a level of predictability here that I think causes you to question whether this actually really has the sort of, I guess, the lasting power to really reach an end point that is worth sticking out. I feel here with the Knight of Discs, this is about long-term investment, okay? It's about rewards that come to you in a slow and steady way. Slow, steady wins the race. It's not a hard, fast card that sort of gives you passionate, I guess reactive and very kind of immediate results. It's really about building things over a long period of time. Death is certainly a card that is about endings linked to new beginnings. There's a real sense here that you're a person who certainly goes against the idea of things becoming mundane. I think a part of the idea maybe for you of wanting to end this is that it would actually put you back out there in a kind of edgy way that would really, I guess, pipe up the potential, of having new experiences that might put you on the edge of your seat and have a sense of potential to reward you in a way that you haven't been for some time now. So I feel like this situation has kind of been dragging its heels for quite a bit of time. But at the same time, it's not like a dire situation where you feel like you have to get out of it. It's just more kind of like questioning it because it's becoming just a little bit too safe and secure. And that isn't quite the person that you are. But I'm going to come back to that more in just a moment. I come over here to art and the Ace of Wands. I think initially things were just like, whoa, like it really just kicked off in a really passionate, very creative, very energetic beginning. I feel things came together in a way where they were just incredibly rewarding, very beautifully balanced. This could be a lot of different things. This could be a situation that lends itself to maybe a relationship. It could be a job, a creative project. I'm going to leave this really loose for you to interpret, but I'm kind of really trying to pick up on the essence of things here. And I want this to kind of, resonate one way or the other without having to paint too much of a specific picture. But I definitely feel that there's this sense of potential. In the beginning, it's like anything is possible. I can reach for the sky. There's a real uninhibited sense of creative potential that can really blow things out of the water in a way where you just get to experience life very intensively. And I think this is the thing. I think initially things have been very intensive, really high output, with a risk of becoming exhausted. Because everything does have, I guess, a finite potential in as much as there is a beginning, a middle, and an end, because that's how life rolls. But there's a real strong sense of wanting to stay in the moment forever and feeling that this is a really rewarding situation filled with lots of creative energy. If this was a relationship, very sexually intensive relationship that has a lot of passion, art is a card of balance, of reciprocal flow. It's the meeting of two different forces, two different aspects that come together and find harmonious balance. The Ace of Wands is obviously, it's a new beginning of a release of enormous creative energy that bursts through into life and is full of creative potential. So I think the start point to where things have been going have been kind of a bit sort of beautiful and right up there on the Richter scale in terms of intensity, reward, and vibrancy. So very lovely stuff, very beautiful stuff. Obviously, now you're at this point, do I stick this out or am I out of here? Do I get out of here? And I can see you're really wanting to shake things up. You're really starting to question everything on that particular level. But what is really important to remember here is if I come down here to the Lovers and Power, you do need to make a decision about what's going on. You're either in or you are out. But the Lovers does indicate passion is still there. The essence of it is there. The Lovers is, literally it's about lovers. So it's about intimate relationships and that really passionate connection that you have in terms of intimacy and love and I guess the reward of unity based on, sexual chemistry, it's more than that, but in essence, that's about the dynamic energy of what pulls us together as a couple. But it's also paired here with power, which is the Four of Dis, and this is about a consolidated position. So I think it would be short-sighted to think that this has reached its end, that somehow it's just going to limp along in a way that doesn't give you fulfillment. Really, where you're at is just at a new place in terms of this situation. Things have begun to trickle down to a slower pace, but it's also about looking at what you've built beneath you in terms of this experience, which is a really consolidated position that leaves you filled with experience that really sets you in a position to make decisions to move in a very new direction. So I think you need to remember what the essence here is, and that is that the fire really does still burn. The foundation that you're on at the moment reinforces the position to make a new inroads into creative new territory. But what you need to do is make a decision about what that is about. I think if you're expecting it just to all of a sudden either dynamically change and fall in your lap in a way where it spells it out for you, then you're actually disengaging at a level that requires you to kind of keep this dynamic in terms of your input. It's not about it happening just to you. It's about you coming together and making this happen in a way where you begin to have new experiences that build on what it is you've already established. So I think there's a very strong foundation here. Decisions definitely need to be made. I think the passion is still there in a slightly different way, but not in a way where you can't build on it and get a new release of life in terms of where this is going. So for me, no, don't ditch this. But yes, stay and take it in a new direction, which is about building on it in a very different way. Now, I hope this has made some sense to you. And if it has, please feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can. Please do subscribe. Hit the bell icon while you're there. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. I release videos each and every week, so feel free to browse the ones that I've already posted and keep an eye out for those that will be coming up on the horizon. Thanks very much and take care. Thank you. Hi everyone, this is card number 5 and welcome to your reading. So today is a yes/no answer to whatever question you're asking. Today is a yes. It's a fine line though. So let's have a look and see what's going on so I can actually explain that a little bit more. If I come over here to the Emperor and Cruelty, and I feel like you have been in a situation that's been really quite overwhelming. Something that's been completely out of your control. Maybe this has come up as a bit of a surprise as well, but it feels very pointed in a way that has left you reeling and feeling that perhaps the worst could happen from this. I think that you've been under a lot of pressure with it as well. There's this really strong feeling that whatever it is that's happened has just left you to feel that it's completely out of your hands. And from that, you end up projecting like a worst possible outcome. For me, it's like the integrity to the structure or the situation has been compromised. The rules have been broken in a way. Cruelty is very much a card of projection, thinking about the future based on the past. Something that's happened to you leaves you feeling that things are out of control and you don't know where it's all going, and it kind of barrels in towards this direction of a worst case scenario. The Emperor is very much about structure and rules. It's very powerful energy though. It's quite overbearing. Combined, there's just a strong sense that the integrity to whatever it is that's been going on has been encroached on in a way where, the rules have been broken, and I think it's just been very painful. It's taken quite a lot to bring yourself back together. And I come over here to Lust and Works. Things have really changed though. I think things are in a much better place for you at the moment. I feel like a really solid foundation has been re-established. This could be collaborative, maybe with other people, maybe somebody else or some, a number of people where you've come back together in a way where things have been put back into place. The foundation has been reestablished. Strong boundaries have been reestablished. And things are building back up again in a way where they feel a lot safer, a lot more secure. Lust is a card of feeling, where instinctually we may react to a situation, but there are times where it's really important to restrain ourselves, to channel that energy and to focus it into more constructive outcomes rather than just reacting to what it is that's going on. Which, if you look back to the past, your reactions have been very strong. I think that's been warranted, though. I think probably anybody else in your situation would have handled it in the same way. But now things just feel that they are certainly much more secure. And I think things are rising up. There's just a sense that the focus is more constructive. I think, it's just, it looks to me like it's a lot more practical. Everything seems more controlled, harnessed, constructive. Yeah. So I kind of feel that, and also lust is a card of creativity. It's about creativity rising up. Works is a card of foundations, but it's also a card of work, so definitely the energy is rising up with constructive outcomes here. So where are we with all of this? If I come down here to Eon and science, I feel that you're still reflecting on what it is that happened in a way that leaves you to ask the big questions, whether it can actually happen again. Eon is a card it's very much about being at a crossroads. It's looking back to the past and asking yourself which way it is that you're actually heading. It's making decisions based on past experiences. But it's very overarching. It's a big energy in terms of the impact that it has as far as whatever decision you make. You have to live with that and make sure that you don't come off course and end back, in the same position again. So there's a lot of gravity to it. Science is a card that really is, once again, it's very reflective because it's about bringing you back into calmer waters after conflict. Yeah. All the swords, they're all about conflict. This is conflict within yourself, but I get a sense that this is about a situation where perhaps something has been imposed upon you in a way where it's certainly left you reeling. And there's been a lot of work to get back, back into, to get things back into order in a way where you feel confident as to where you stand. But not enough for you to feel solidly about moving forward for the longer term future, which is why you're at a crossroads at this particular point in time, and you're asking the questions as to whether this can happen again. But you're making decisions based on your past experiences as to how far things have been resolved, how much light has been shed on this, and can we really continue to grow and get to the bottom of it in a way where we really have learnt by our mistakes? And I think that you're being very honest. I think also my sense is that whatever it is that's happened, that whoever else is involved, or whatever else it is that it's happened, I feel that light has been shone on this particular subject in a way where everybody knows where they stand. There's nowhere to hide on this. So I think things are certainly above board now in a way that leaves you to feel that not only are you getting to the bottom of it, or have you gotten to the bottom of it, but if this was ever to happen again, that would be it. Then it would be over, because this is like a non-negotiable outcome. Essentially we're moving on because we're growing on from this experience. We're not going back to that ever again so that we cause a whole load of pain. And if we ever did go back there, that's it. Done and dusted. Moving on. So I think it's time to really look at that and to take heart that things have moved on so solidly, because for me, lust and works are really about the groundwork that you've made, the inroads that you've made since this all happened. And there's been so much progress in a way that really leads me to feel that, yes, mistakes have been made, but lessons have definitely been learned. And so much so that everybody's become quite hypersensitive to the situation. Well, I say everybody, whoever, whatever is involved. I think certainly for you, it's just very apparent that this cannot happen again, and that if it did, there would be no moving forward. It would be done and dusted. So I really feel that it's important to refocus yourself on the inroads that have been made, and to begin to rebuild and to nurture that new foundation in a way that really grows beyond this particular experience. It's in the past. It's important to move through these situations in a way where we learn the lessons. For me, this is about learning lessons. And I feel that everybody, or at least for you, and if there is anybody else involved, have certainly learnt their lessons in a way where it's about, onwards and upwards. I hope this reading has made some sense to you, and if it has, please feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can. Please subscribe, tap on the bell icon. That'll give you notifications for future readings that I post. I release videos each and every week to YouTube, so feel free to browse the ones that I've already posted and keep an eye on the horizon for new ones coming up. If you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. Plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. Take care, and thank you.